What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris coming at you for another DeerFish gaming video, and today I am really excited because we're live from the Executor and we are going to sit down and look at this Admiral Piett Blue-Green deck and what makes it so magnificent to play. Because let me tell you, this deck is a lot of fun. It's really easy to play. It's really fun to play. I don't know if you guys have ever ramped or played a ramp deck, but ramping is a lot of fun, and this deck is just ramp, 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 big ship, ramp, big ship, ramp, big ship, ramp. It's so much fun. I love playing it, and I think you guys will enjoy it too. And if you like the idea of playing a big ass ship deck with ramps a lot, hit that like button. And if you don't want to miss any more videos coming out of this DeerFish Gaming channel, hit that subscribe button. And now let's get into this deck breakdown. All right, so Admiral Piett, he has a lot of hype around him. He's a new leader, and he's ramp. His ability is ramping, so that's very, very strong. And of course, it's going to be very popular. There's a lot of people out there that like ramping, and I think red and blue being paired with this green leader has been probably the most hype people have been talking about that I've seen personally. I think blue is probably going to be the better one, and that's why I chose to go with blue. And here we are. So let's get into this Admiral Piett deck, right? So Piett, play a capital ship unit from your hand. It costs one less. All right. Now, that is very, very strong, okay? It's just a free ramp right there from your action. You can't be mad at that, right? And he flips on 5. If you control 5 or more resources, deploy this leader. He comes out as a 2/7. So, a lot of leaders that are considered to be very, very strong, like Quinlan, I kind of flip at 5 with a 3/7. So 2/7 is very strong. He's going to stick there. You're probably going to be able to flip him and also get to at least play something before they can take him out. It's probably going to take 2 actions, hopefully, to take him out. So you can at least normally get 1 ship off, right? That's the idea. But when you flip him, he's a 2/7, but each capital ship unit you play costs 2 less now. And it's no longer an action. It is what it is. You play the capital ships for 2 less. So this is going to be a very, very strong, and it's going to make the math of the deck seem a little bit weird. But when we get into looking at the list, you'll see. But just imagine every capital ship is always a -1 when we get into the list, and then potentially some will be a -2 depending on how long we can keep Admiral Piett out there. And sometimes some of your big ships are just too strong, and they have to take out a big ship before they can take out Piett, and then you can get another big ship out. It's a very crazy mean cycle if you can really get things going. So let's get into the deck. Okay, so we were on a 30 base. I have thought about tempting fate and seeing how this goes with Colossus, because it's really strong with at the 30, and how much better could it be without drawing with just 1 more card but having 5 more health. I don't know. Right now I'm currently liking having the full hand. Sometimes I feel like if I had 1 less card in hand, depending on what card it could be, might lose the game. So I don't know. I would just stick with a 30 base deck, and maybe when you get more comfortable, maybe try the Colossus. Maybe. I don't know. So we got Director Krennic in here. All right, now I know some people are playing Pershing. I think that's a really good play too, to be honest with you. I think Dr. Pershing is a very, very good 2-drop to play. But I'm going with Director Krennic personally. It's got that shielded token, and then the first unit you play each round that has a when defeated ability costs 1 less. Now you're like, Chris, does that really matter? Yeah, yes and no, right? Yes and no. So when we get into the capital ships, we're going to come back down to Director Krennic, and I do have a plan. It's a little bit of a 1-2 shebang combo, so you'll see that in a minute, right? But just keep that in mind. His when defeated ability costs 1 less, the first one that you play. Keep that in mind. It's really only for a couple of units, but they come in line. Wait, so this is a 2-drop. And then we got 3-drop for the Super Laser Technician. And you may put this unit into play as a resource and ready it when defeated. It's a 2 attack and 1 health, so very, very pingable dead, or you can just slam into a unit and it'll die as long as that unit has 1 attack. So you can really get this off. It's a good ramp card. People have been using it for a long time. And then we got Iden Verso. So this one, considerably maybe a flex spot, but I have been enjoying Iden, and Iden I'm pairing with another card of the big ship, and you'll see that later. So Iden has a little bit of versatility, and you'll see that in a minute. But, so she comes in shielded, and she's a 4 attack and 3 health. So that's really not that bad for a deck that doesn't have that many ground units. For a shielded unit to potentially be able to trade out with 2 units if you don't have your removal spell, that is really, really good, I think. And then also you can pilot her onto one of your big ships and give them a shield. So I think that is just invaluable, to be honest with you. And so we got Long Pike. Long Pike is just here for a 4-drop, to keep your your momentum going, make sure you're playing, and then also you could smuggle it if you have some bad draws. You never ever know what's going to happen in a game, so you want to make sure you have backup plans. And so that's why Long Pike's in here, because just in case things go sideways, you have a smuggle card you can play. Or if you don't have a 4-drop, you can play Long Pike as a 4-drop. Like if you don't have Takedown or Fell the Dragon target, you can play Long Pike. And then we got Maul in here. So sometimes people are going to go big on the ground, and you got to have something to take over the ground and make sure you just get rid of that. So you're ramping early. Maybe you ramp early and then they flip Quinlan Voss. Well, a big ship isn't going to be able to take out Quinlan Voss potentially right away. You can't attack it. You have to have an overwhelming barrage or whatever. So also another option is just having a Maul. Why? So there's adding different options, and Maul is just so good. And you get the overwhelm ambush to the base, so you could potentially finish a game off with an attack. So Maul is just so good. So I just recommend him having in there as just security blanket for the ground. And then we have Onyx Squadron Brute. Now this guy is a very, very good. He only has 2 attack and 3 health. So it's like, is he that good? Well, so say this. You can play Onyx Squadron Brute, and then you can pilot Iden onto Onyx Squadron Brute. And now you have a 5/6, and it has a shield on it. And then also when it's defeated, it heals 2 damage from base. So in that instance, I'm not necessarily that mad at that. Also, you have all your removal spells that we're going to get into later. There's so much removal. But, essentially this is here for the heal 2 damage from a base and to be a nuisance and to make sure you can help control the space if you need it. Most of the time the removal spells will be enough though. And so now we're going to get into Corvus. So I really like Corvus. I see other people playing that ship that is green, that I forget, it's like the freight ship. It's has 5 attack and 5 health, overwhelm, and raid 1. I really like that too, but I come to find that I really like this restore, just like I like to restore with Onyx Squadron Brute. That's the whole reason I have that in the deck, is to get that get more health back from the base. This restore I feel like is crucial. So he's a 5-drop, 4 cost and 4 attack and 5 health, and restore 2. When played, you may attach a friendly pilot unit or upgrade to this unit, defeat all upgrades on that pilot, and remove all damage from it. So essentially, if you play Iden, and you play Corvus, you can move Iden from the ground onto Corvus. That's how I interpret it. And I think that's really, really strong. And it says or upgrade to this unit, so you can move like another upgrade to this unit if you didn't want to move a pilot unit. But I think that's really strong. Being able to like potentially play Iden if I need to, and then I can do some ground business, and then I can play Corvus. And then because when Iden says give a shield token to that unit when this upgrade is attached to it, so you play Iden on the ground, you pop the shield, take out the ground unit, you play Corvus, and then you move it over. That's the idea. I like it. But even if you don't get that off, a 4 attack, 5 health with restore 2 that can come out on 4. That's that's the main thing. The even if I'm wrong about the interaction with Iden, moving Iden over to the to Corvus from the ground, that's fine. The restore 2 is like so good, I think. And then we are playing CR90 Relief Runner, 6 cost, 4 attack, 6 health, restore 2, and when defeated, heal up to 3 damage from a unit or base. Alright, so we're circling back. Now, when defeated. Alright, now, I always build my decks in a way of like, I have a backup plan built in. What if I don't draw the ramp? Sure, we have a lot of ramp, but what if I don't draw the double ramp? What if I don't draw resupply? What if I only have Piett's ability? Well, I want to have a backup plan, and that is Director Krennic, right? Director Krennic pretty much ensures that this ship is coming out on 4. If I have Director Krennic out because he has a wind, this ship has a wind defeated ability and it's a capital ship, you can use Piett's ability and use Director Krennic. So, well, he has that, his basic ability, and you can play CR90 Relief Runner 4/4 if, you still, for whatever reason, miss your ramp. And if you don't miss your ramp, I mean, whatever, you still have one resource to work with. Maybe you can scare your opponent a little bit. Who knows? And you can flip Piett if you're at 5. But, it's just, and so then this would go down to a 3 cost. And so, then you could play an Onyx Squadron Brute if you had it in your hand. So it's just reducing as much cost as possible and having backup plans. That's what I'm all about. And then Chimera is the same thing. It's a 6 drop. It's 5 attack, 6 health. When defeated, create 2 TIE Fighter tokens. When played, you may use a when defeated ability on another friendly unit. So if you played an Onyx Squadron Brute and then you ramped and then you played Chimera, if Onyx Squadron Brute was still out, you could heal 2 damage from your base. Or if you already had the CR90 Relief Runner out, you could heal up to 3 damage from a unit or base. So I just really like this, so to trigger one of those heal abilities from the when defeated before they actually get defeated. I find that it really, really helps. You want all the restore you can get, especially if you're going against like an aggro deck. And then we got Resupply Carrier. You want to ramp, ramp, ramp. So it's a 6 cost, 4 attack, 5 health. When played, you may put the top card of your deck into play as a resource. You gotta love it. I mean, you play Resupply, and then, or Super Laser Tech, and then you crash out on your Super Laser Tech, and then, and then you can play your Resupply Carrier that next turn. So I really, really love this, being able to come out essentially on your resource 5 turn. I really, really like that. Then we got the Fleet Interdictor. So this card is honestly absurd. Like it is really, really strong. Being a 6/6 Sentinel can just lock out a lot of decks that are right now. They're just trying to go heavy space. It costs 7 with Admiral Piett flipped. It only costs 5. And and when defeated, you may defeat a space unit that costs 3 or less. So on top of that, when it's defeated, it can defeat something else that costs 3 or less. So another thing for maybe if you played this and then you drew a Chimera, maybe your opponent played a 3-drop ship that's annoying, then you can play your Chimera and trigger this when defeated ability. So it's just a lot of things going. Also with Director Krennic, this could come out for 4 if Admiral Piett is flipped. So it's just, you see where it's just a lot of different, that Director Krennic really comes in handy, I personally think. And I really like Director Krennic. I do like the Dr. Pershing. That's definitely not a bad choice. But I really like Director. I've been using Director Krennic, and I really, really like him. And then we got Avenger. So Avenger, when played on attack, an opponent chooses a non-leader unit they control, defeat that unit. So strong. 8 attack, 8 health, and it costs 9. So essentially, you can play this for 7 with Piett flipped, or you play it for 8 with Piett's normal. So either way, if you play like a resupply and then a resupply carrier, or a super laser and then a resupply, if you double ramp, this is coming out so early that it's really hard for your opponent to deal with it. You honestly have to be playing another blue deck in order for them to be able to deal with just all the power and all the crazy abilities that you're able to put out, right? So because you're playing the C3090 Relief Runner. It has Restore 2 and when defeated heal 3, right? Like, well, crap, I can't just keep letting you Restore 2. This has to go. All right, well, now that that's gone, if you don't take that out that same turn, boom, now we got this this Sentinel coming out. And, and we still got to worry about me restoring. And then you got the Avenger. And then at any point, you got these events that we got down. It's just, the big ships really, really stack up. It's very scary. I mean, do not underestimate this deck just because all it is simple ramp into big ships. It is scary business. And then we got the Devastator. It costs 10. You could potentially get it out for 8. Or you could play it with Piett flipped. Or you could play it for 9 with him not flipped. And so, if you played him for 8, and you only had 8 resources, you can only do 8 to a unit, but 8 damage is a lot. I mean, if you're playing 8, if you're playing Devastator on 8 and doing 8 damage to something, it's probably going to be killing it, right? So, but it costs 10 normally. It's 10 attack. It's 10 health. It has Sentinel also, and it overwhelms this thing is just an absolute beast. If it's coming out, I mean, the game is going to be over soon, probably. Um, and then if they have an answer for Devastator, then we got one Annihilator in the main. Does it need to be in the deck? I'm going to be honest with you guys. Probably not. Probably one in the sideboard might be just fine. This might be a little bit of an overkill scenario here, but it's a new card, and I like the new card, so I'm playing the new card. but no, seriously, I do like this card a lot. You know, its when played ability and when defeated ability is really good. Costs 11. You can play it for 9. So playing on it for 11 kind of would suck, but paying for 9 is really not so bad. Just, I mean, people are already playing Avenger, so just imagine this is like the new Avenger with 12 attack, 12 health. When played, you may defeat an enemy unit. If you do, search its controller's deck and hand for each card with that unit's name and discard them. And then they shuffle their deck. So, you know, you have to defeat that unit. And so if you do defeat that unit, then you can, so like if, you know, you got Millennium Falcon. Woo, there's 2 different Millennium Falcons now. Or 3 different Millennium Falcons. Think about how many different, how many cards you could hit at once with this being played. And then when it's defeated, you can do this ability again. So it's just, boom, this ability is so good. This card is so good. And just like Devastator, if this thing gets an attack or 2 in, it's game over. Now, we're done with the big old ships, and we're going into a little bit more of what everybody knows when it comes to blue, right? We got Power of the Dark Side, okay? An opponent chooses a unit they control, defeat that unit. It's pretty simple, costs 3, we love it. Resupply, put this event into play as a resource. Gotta love that. Ramp it up, baby. Ramp it up. Fell the Dragon, 4 costs, defeat a non-leader unit with 5 or more power. This is really, really good. Make sure that, you know, if they play something scary on the ground that you can't get to with one of your ships, you can just, pew, go by. And then take down. You know, same scenario. Defeat a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. There's a lot of annoying stuff with 5 or less remaining HP that if you just let live, will go completely rampant on you. So you have to have these takedowns to potentially take care of stuff like that. Like going against Sabine, gotta have that takedown for that immediate Sabine flip. Because it's scary business, you know what I mean? Alright, and then we got the Overwhelming Barrage. So, you know, this card is so strong. You're playing your big ships way early. They have bigger stats than the cards that your opponent playing, and then when you Overwhelming Barrage early. So like if you play that 4/6 you know, C3090 runner, you know, for 4, and then you Overwhelming Barrage this the next turn for 6, you know, now it's a 6/8. And you can spread 6 damage. That's a lot of damage. You know what I mean? And then Chimera, boom. You play Chimera the turn before, and then you play Overwhelming Barrage. That's 7. That'll take out most leaders that'll flip. I think that'll take out every leader on 5. You know, CR90 Relief Runner will take out most leaders that flip by that. And Chimera will take out like a Quinlan that has 7 health. So, you know, it's just very strong. Just with those when defeated abilities going with Director Krennic, and then being able to play them even 1 turn earlier than you would. Well, I guess it's not 1 turn earlier. It's more if you miss your ramp. But being able to pair those ships with the Overwhelming Barrage is really good. And so then we got the Rivals Fall, 6 and then 6 cost, and then defeat a unit. Just flat out defeat a unit. It's really, really good. I used to run 2, but with all this removal and the Overwhelming Barrage, and with how big everything is, I think we're good. I think the 1 Rivals Fall is fine. And then we're going to main deck 1 Super Laser Blast. Just in case everything goes wrong, we can Super Laser Blast. Because we don't, at the end of the day, if we're in a bad board state and we need to heal, this dying is not bad, and this dying is not bad, right? So like we have a couple of Onyx Squadron Brutes out there and like a CR90 Relief Runner, but our opponent has like 2 big things out there, and you know, even if we attack with our Restore unit, it's not good enough. Just Super Laser Blast, and then, you know, heal up to 3, heal up to 2. You know what I mean? So just having things that when defeated, you heal to kind of pair with the Super Laser Blast. That way, wiping your side of the board isn't a complete downside is also nice. And then we got 3 Perilous Positions. So just in case you don't get your Power of the Dark Side, you don't get your ramp, Super Laser Tech, or Resupply, you're going to have a Perilous Position. Stop, please. Stop, please. Stop, please. Or maybe something, you know, is annoying and it has more than 5 health without Perilous Position. but you perilous position it before it can attack, and then the next turn you can take down it. You never know. You never know. You never know. So now let's get into the sideboard. Okay. Oh well, it's a 3 cost, and you when played exhaust attached unit -2 -2. So I got ahead of myself. I apologize. Man, it's been a day. I do apologize. If you made it this far in the video, then you know what? You get this little tidbit. I was gonna do this video yesterday, but your boy, your boy, your boy fell down some stairs and he hurt his foot. So I do apologize if I seem a little bit everywhere or whatever. I got a little bit of pain meds, but yeah, your boy hurt his foot, fell down some stairs. So I was gonna have this video out yesterday, but we had to do X-ray type things. So anyway, back to the sideboard. We got the 3 vigilances. So choose 2 in any order, discard 6 cards from an opponent's deck, heal 5 damage from a base, defeat a unit with 3 or less remaining HP, and give a shield token to a unit. Now, Vigilance, you had to pay for 6 with this deck. You really only side this in against like control mirrors, but it is so crucial in the control mirrors to heal 5 and then discard 6. And maybe it's just because for 6 it's a high cost for just to remove for 3. So you really want to do the discard, and the healing is the big thing for 6. If you were playing it for 4, for sure the defeat a unit with 3 or less remaining HP is going to be real crucial. You can get it off for 6, and it can be impactful, but it just might not be the most impactful. So I really recommend this being sided in for the control mirror. We're kind of set up as good as we can be for aggro, to be honest with you, in the main while it is. And so we got Vanquish, defeat a non-leader unit. So this is basically your extra Rivals Fall. You got Overwhelming Barrage that should take out most leaders if needed. We got Power of the Dark Side, and we got the 1 Rivals Fall. So that should really take care of every, like, if there's a lead, like, you should be able to take care of the leader, and this should be able to take care of anything else if you need an extra little defeat a unit type thing. So this is a very good removal spell, just 1 of. Then we got the 3rd Fleet Interdictor, because this thing is just so good, and if your opponent's going heavy space, you can play this for 5, why not? Or you can play it for 4, why not? Yeah, that thing is crazy. That thing is crazy. Okay. Well, not play it for 4. My bad. That was retarded. That was stupid. You can, with Krennic's Flip, it costs 2. So you would still have 5, but you could play it for 4. That, yeah, I'm sorry. So we have the 2nd Super Laser Blast in the sideboard, just in case, like, oh man, like, I'm really gonna need that Super Laser Blast. It came in clutch that first game, put that second one in, you know what I mean? And then we got Supreme Leader Snoke. So Snoke is really good against a lot of decks. I did have 2 in the sideboard, but I took the second one out because I was just drawing it too much. Now, because not as many people are playing those decks, at least that I'm playing against right now, where that Snoke just completely shuts them down. And also, you're not really playing a lot of ground units, so it's not like you have like a lot of stuff to protect Snoke. But Snoke is still really good, and he, each enemy non-leader unit gets -2/-2. So he is a freaking powerhouse, and you got all that ramp, so you can get him out really early. But he just doesn't necessarily fit in with the game plan. But I would recommend to put in Snoke against, like a heavy aggro deck. Just really stop them. Just in case you don't draw your Super Laser Blast, you draw Snoke. You can boom, put the momentum down, and just really, like kind of slow their momentum down. They're probably going to deal with that Snoke, depending on the scenario. And then we got Relentless, 9-drop, 8 attack, 8 health. The first event played by each opponent each round loses all abilities. This is so good. You go in the mirror against like a blue deck, or against yellow has a lot of crazy things. Prevent that waylay from coming out, prevent or that commandeer from coming out on something that you have. So just a lot of good events out there that you want to stop your opponents from playing. So yeah, I would say if you're going against somebody that has a lot of events that are scary against you, side in their Relentless. You can potentially Play it for 7 with Piett flipped, and pay it for 8 with him not flipped with his abilities. So it's just very, very good. And then we got the Annihilator, okay? So we have the second Annihilator. Again, you probably only need one, but again, like in the control mirror, having a second one is going to be crucial. You know, unless your opponent says Annihilator, or unless your opponent defeats your Annihilator. Like if they Annihilator your Annihilator, then that would suck. But yeah, so I don't know my thoughts on that. I'm still kind of figuring that out yet. But yeah, this is my first take on Blue Green Piett, and I really like this deck. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. It's very simple to play. You just, you know, you play the thing, you play the cards that let you ramp, like you know, Director Krennic helps you get several you know, several ships out early. You know, like if you ramp with Super Laser Tech or Resupply, you can play Fleet Intertector on 5. You know what I mean? You can play him. Yeah, it's just before you flip Director Krennic, right? So say you don't feel like you have a good board to actually flip Director Krennic, you could still flip the Fleet Interdictor for 5 with Director Krennic out, or with Piett and Director Krennic out. So it's this deck is a lot of fun, and I think the pain meds are kind of getting to me now, where I'm kind of losing track. So I'm just going to end this video, and I'm sorry if I got off track a little bit, but I love you guys, and we're going to do Captain Phasma next. Peace.